have you got any more information, the New Zealand government, as to what the source of this infection was, with 4 cases now in Auckland?
Not at this time. We're doing our best to trace as many contacts as we can. Tests are being done, but it's just too early to say. We will probably know within 48 hours with greater clarity the information we are seeking.
Our correspondent in New Zealand has reported that there are 4 new probable cases linked to the original 4. They're awaiting their test results, but I guess that would be likely, given this was a family.
Yes, that's right. But we don't know how wide this is, and so we're flat out trying to put as many people into the field, so to speak, to trace any possible contact, but it's just too early to say.
The Prime Minister moved very quickly late last night, moving Auckland back into stage 3. Have you got a sense of how long that's likely to last? I understand it's only for a few days to begin with.
Yeah, well, it's really tough to be on an interview like this when you're asked questions like that, because we had a 3-day time frame when that decision was made last night, announced at 9 o'clock last night. So until we have more information, a lot of the permutations we just don't know, because we haven't got the facts to point to the decision-making process that we should be following.
There must be frustration, though, in New Zealand. You thought you had it dealt with, and now this pops up out of nowhere.
You couldn't be more right. It's terribly frustrating. I'm certain for the people of Auckland in particular going into lockdown 3, but around the country as well. It's enormously frustrating for all the authorities, and dare I say it, the politicians at the end of the process. But, we're going to have to knuckle down, reface the challenges we've got together and get on top of it.
Well, there was a very strict response originally by the government. Do you think that New Zealanders are willing to enter into another shutdown, given how, as I said, that original lockdown was tough? What's the mood like? Do you sense that there will be cooperation?
Well, this is day 1, and there have been some very exasperating traffic snarl-ups and all sorts of reactions where people have sought to leave Auckland to go to a holiday area called the Coromandel. There's been a number of examples like that, but the enforcement, I think, is up to it. And really, we've just got to stringently say to the public that we can't win this without you. You are at the forefront of this battle, and we're all in it together. And we're going to have to be, very, very strict in terms of surveillance and ensuring that the general plan of action and tactics has massive buy-in. We can't win otherwise.
And in terms of the health response, you said that this contact tracing is out there. How well equipped is the health department to deal with this new outbreak?
Well, look, that's a very good question, because in the end, only the outcome of this will be able to answer the question you're asking. Are we running at all cylinders, flat to the boards, at the top of our game? We're going to have to find that out. And we've come, as I say, 102 days, thinking that things were, in the process of being, how shall I say, capable of us looking forward with confidence. But we always had that anxiety that if something went wrong, something got out from quarantine, or we've got something new to deal with, and that's the problem as well, that this was a possibility. It is, you're right, an extraordinarily difficult time for us all here in this country. But again, we've got a great record, and we have got to restore that one more time.
The opposition wants the election, which is now scheduled for September 19. The opposition in New Zealand want it delayed until November at the earliest, if not next year. Do you support that move, given the return of COVID-19 to New Zealand?
Well, in terms of the need to have a free and fair election, and free and fair means that people have the same access and are able to do that that is vote with the same ease? That is a very, very critical question. And again, they're calling for it, but it's too early to say. We'll know in 2 or 3 days' time whether this is a genuine call or a premature one. But personally, I don't rule out the need to ensure that we don't have anything but the best type of election and the kind of which we've had since 1854. That's what our objective is. But to make that decision, to know what we're dealing with and how widespread the inconvenience of COVID in our society might be, we haven't got the evidence at this point in time.
You and New Zealand First negotiated coalition government with Prime Minister Ardern after the last election. If Labor wins this election in its own right, has the Prime Minister given you any indication as to whether you will remain part of her government?
No, and that's the last thing I'd expect. My party is unique in this context. We don't do deals with any other party. We haven't done one for 27 years since we've existed. All the rest go in with tight arrangements before the people have even voted. And I wouldn't expect that. But looking forward in the way that one has to, with one's long-term experience in this business, the chance of a one-party government in this country, in my view, is not going to be a reality.
Okay, well, you certainly have that experience, that's for sure. Deputy New Zealand Prime Minister Winston Peters, very much appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you very much.